There's a thump of something heavy knocking against the side of the boat. It thumps again, and she hears voices close enough to touch the speaker were it not for the ship between them. She flings her shawl over her shoulders and draws it across her chest to cover the shift, tying it round the back of her waist. Then she opens the cabin door, stumbles up the steps and onto the deck. Blinking in the light, she sees Maynard close by, his back to her and sword drawn. The sailors are crowded together by the main mast, heads hanging, while men clamber over the ship's side. "Get below, Bethia," hisses Maynard, glancing over his shoulder. "Quickly, and hide!" There are two men striding towards him, pistols pointing. She squints, eyes still adjusting to the sun sparkling on the water. One of them is long of body, short of leg, and very familiar. "Geordie," she says. Maynard looks over his shoulder, frowning. She pushes past him and stands in front of Geordie, eyes wide. "What are you doing here?" Geordie's companion reaches out to grab her. The last two fingers of his hand only stumps. Geordie knocks the mutilated hand away. "Dinna do that, Andrew. She's one of us, you gowk. Leave her alone, else her father will hae your head upon a platter." Bethia, arms akimbo, places her feet wide to keep her balance. "Geordie, in the name of the Blessed Virgin, what's going on?" The sailors watch from their penned-in space, and the captain descends from the quarter-deck, the sword by his side, clattering against the railing. He issues an instruction, and a sailor slides past Andrew, who shoves him back so that his head hits a stanchion. He bounces forward, red-faced and fists clenched. Andrew raises his pistol and fires. The shot skims past its target and lodges in the railing. A second sailor lifts a hand, blood dripping where flying splinters have pierced the skin. "Stop!" shouts Bethia. Again all eyes are upon her. She grabs Geordie by the arm. "Is my father involved in this piracy?" she hisses in his ear. He won't meet her eyes. She remembers a conversation with father about the Hollanders' great fishery every year, starting in June off Shetland, and then moving down the coast of Scotland until they reach the Forth estuary for the Lammas drave in August. And now is Lammas. "They've these great herring busses with 3 masts, father said. "Oh, they're braw big boats, which drag the nets ahint. And what nets! Why, they can cover over 40 foot. But surely the fish are rotten before they can get them back to Holland," Bethia wondered, and she remembers how her question pleased him. "Nae a bit o' it, for they Dutchy folk are canny. They bring ither boats alongside, which run back and forth to their country, with the gutted herrings salted and packed in barrels. They have a wee bitty o' a problem with the privateers attacking and robbing them, so they have to be well armed. Still, 'tis a grand trade, as Scotland would only learn frae it, for there's a good living to be made in the export of herring and salmon to the Baltic." And Scotland seems to have learnt from it, she thinks. Learnt that it's easier to rob the ships than to do the work. Although she can't entirely blame father after the losses he took when his ship was impounded at Veer, and all his cargo was confiscated nearly 2 years ago. She, helping him with his accounts, had wondered at how quick their fortunes seemed to revive. The privateering explains all. But this ship is not a herring bus. It has only 2 masts and a foresail. Why have they been attacked? She suspects it may be nothing more than a chance sighting. Geordie shakes his head at Andrew and confirms her suspicions. "I tell you, the ship was no worth bothering wi'." Maynard spreads his hands wide. "We have almost no cargo, only a few hides. With all the troubles in St. Andrews, there was little to trade, and the trip was all about fetching my bride." In spite of their peril, Bethia cannot help the glimmer of a smile at the note of pride in his voice. Andrew spits. "There's aye something for the taking, and our father will never ken if we—" He doesn't get a chance to finish, for Maynard takes the flat of his sword, and using it like a staff, he sweeps the feet out from under Andrew, who thumps down onto the decking. Placing the tip of the sword on Andrew's breastbone, Maynard pins him down.